Hi, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back to another Consistency Code episode. Happy to have you here.
As per usual, yeah.
So, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the topic of untying your identity from bodybuilding because this is something that I think both of us are currently navigating ourselves in the deep depths of our off season, and it's something that
hmm
we've been seeing a lot with other competitors as well. And it's kind of been a long road, I can't lie. Like, there is a point where if someone took competing away from me, like I genuinely wouldn't know who I was without it.
Yeah.
When I think back to my off season, like 2 and 3 years ago, like it was so like all consuming of my entire life.
hmm
So yeah, we're gonna unpack that and yeah, go deep with that. So I'm gonna start off by asking you a
Give
question.
it to me. Mm.
When did you first notice competing had become like more than just a hobby for you? Like when did it start to feel like it was like your entire identity, like who like defining you as a person?
I think a very similar answer, it could be for others maybe, was like when I first really got settled into my first prep. Not like my first off season, but my first prep ever. When I got my first proper coach and everything was lined up. It was since I was newer to it, or just plain old new. It's a very consuming sport, first of all. Like, it's very, everything that you do is selfish because you're focusing on yourself 24/7. So it does tend to make you feel like, okay, this is all I'm doing and this is who I am very quickly. So yeah, like just my first prep back in like what 23, I think it was. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like I have to do this, I have to do this. It's like a 24/7 thing. So like this is who I am. It's kind of like a given that you feel like if I'm doing this every single day and thinking about it, like it's who I am, right? So I will say that.
Mm-hmm. And
hmm
like when you think about like the lifestyle we live in prep, like
hmm
it is all consuming. Like you have to make sacrifices when you're in prep. That's just the reality of it. And
hmm
so it's kind of hard to like detach from that and take a step away once prep ends, especially when you're like navigating the post-show blues and like reworking your day-to-day routine and
hmm
lifestyle now that you don't have like 45 minutes of cardio to do
Yeah.
every day and you have energy to expend on other things.
hmm
But yeah, I would say like kind of similar for me too. Like I became so addicted to the sport like right out of the gate because it truly like saved me from such a deep dark place in my life at the time. Like when I
hmm
started bodybuilding, I just gave it my all because
Yeah.
I was so passionate about it right out of the gate. It like brought me so much joy mentally. It gave me something to focus on and I was yeah, so addicted to becoming a better and better and better version of
hmm
myself and improving myself and I was like I developed this fear internally that like if I took a step away from bodybuilding and being like meticulous with everything 24/7 that like I was gonna like ruin my progress, not bring my best the next time I stepped on stage. Like I was just like, I don't know, so convinced that I had to live bodybuilder 24 freaking 7 and
Yeah.
eventually you hit this place of burnout. Like I mean with anything in life, right? Eventually you're gonna get to a place of burnout. And I also realize I think this is a really big lesson that it's not that deep. Like you
hmm
can live your life in the off season and it's really not that deep. If you have 1, 2 free meals a week, it's not gonna make or break your pro card. It's not gonna make or break your placing the next time you step on stage. If you go on vacation and don't work out for 2 weeks, you're not gonna lose like all of your glute density.
Exactly. And what you said was really true because when you are constantly working and striving to be better at something, obviously that will consume you. Even if it's a good thing at the end of the day, like too much of anything is not a good thing, right? Right, because there are things that will show, which is why this is a topic at hand, which is just like losing yourself in anything, right? It might just not be bodybuilding for everybody, but we need to understand that even if you're striving to be good at anything, even academically, right? Like we see a lot of people losing their social skills, like all of that. So it's not even a thing of balance anymore. You have to just sit there and genuinely detach your identity from the thing that you are doing or becoming.
Yep,
hmm
100%. And if you look at any other professional sport, like they have a life outside of the sport. Like if you look at like an NBA player, like an NHL player, like whatever sport it is, like they still have a life outside of it.
Mhm.
And sure, in season, like that might be more limited and restricted, but
Mhm.
like take hockey as an example in the summer, like they have a life outside of hockey.
Yeah,
So it should be the same for bodybuilders too. Like it's our
exactly.
sport is unique in the sense that you do have to like really, really lock in when it comes to your nutrition, but you can be a little bit more chill with it in the off season. And that's, yeah, it is something that's hard to navigate at times
Yeah,
because we all want to bring our best, but
yeah,
also life is short and like saying no to things because you like are worried about your placing the next time you step on stage when you're not even planning on stepping on stage for another year, like
hmm,
should be the least of your concerns. So yeah, yeah, it is something
exactly.
that's hard to navigate though.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with other people sharing their journey and so on. Like, even with the NBA players and so on, they're posting and showing you what they want you to see. Same thing with bodybuilders. So, where also the consuming happens is when we're constantly like seeing somebody be locked in 24/7, but it's just what they want you to see. And then you feel like I'm not doing enough, which is so just, yeah, it's gonna happen. But then when you put yourself into just OT on everything bodybuilding, it is going to consume you, right?
Yeah. So there are those people who only post when they're locked in 24/7 and then
Yeah,
you know how they say like comparison is the thief of joy. As soon as you start like
100%.
comparing yourself, you're going to lose joy in your own life.
100%.
But then there's also the people who I personally really respect who share everything every
Mhm.
single day. Good or bad, locked in or not. There's also like numerous bikini pros who just intuitively eat in the off season. Take this off season, I think is a little bit different from her because like she's been doing more shows before the Olympia, but like the past couple years, like that girl just eats whatever she wants in her off
Mhm.
season and she gains body fat, she looks great, she accepts it, and she locks in for prep. And look, she's the top in the world.
Mhm.
So she's the best of the best. So like
Exactly. We have to see the bigger picture
what?
and who's, I just said we have to see the bigger picture and who's on top
Exactly.
too, right? If we're really doubting. And also, if the piece of cake or something that when you're like locked out is going to hinder your placing at your next show, it might also not be the piece of cake. I think we're already just such a different place that that piece of cake genuinely will do some damage, but that's just a general evaluation that we need to do and not just let that one thing consume us where I could not have the piece of cake, but you know what, like that show is doomed from the start, and not because of anything's wrong with you, but just because of a lot of factors. There's so many things in individual people's lives. We go through such different things, right?
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I think if you do have a fear around like having that off-plan meal and it like deterring your progress, then maybe like you said, you need to look at the bigger picture and like maybe
Hmm.
ask yourself like is your mindset like tied to a placing? Like either a
Hmm.
previous placing or like a potential future placing.
Hmm.
So on that note, was there a moment that you ever felt like your self-worth was tied to your physique or your placing? Like you wouldn't be as good
Hmm.
if you like had that cheat meal or whatever it was, skipped a workout.
Not necessarily anything tied like to food, but more so maybe like workouts, I would say, where I just thought like maybe also food. Honestly, it was just such a general thing, right? That it just like since I ever started competing weirdly, I was never locked in on my placings. Weirdly, okay, when I entered my first show ever, side note, I didn't know I was so out of it that I didn't know how top three qualify for nationals. Like I was so not in there that I was just like, okay, I just want to step on the stage for the first time, right? So from there, I just kind of carried the same thing. Like even when we talk about like next year, like I just want a. I had the same mindset from before, which is just do better than what you did previously. If I was sixth last year, anything fifth and up, I'm happy with. You know what I mean? So it's just being better than what you were. But I think in 2025, when I did one of the shows that was super unplanned, was with you actually. That one was where
That
I
was
was
a
like,
year ago
holy
this
shit.
weekend,
Oh
by the
my
way.
gosh. Whoa, time flies.
I know, I know.
Holy shit. Yeah. That one was, we've talked about it previously, a very daunting time for me. But after that, it wasn't even like the placing. Like I placed second, like whatever. It was more so how I showed up where I went back and I was like, what if I didn't do this? What if I wasn't so, relaxed on this and this. You know what I mean? So what if I was more locked in? But the reality was I was as locked in as I could be for that time. And so even if, let's say, I was mentally there 90% or 80, it was 100% for my situation, right? So that's where it took me like what, 4 or 5 months to just kind of get out of that like space. And I would say that's where like the consuming was for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No, I totally get that. And like it's also challenging because on show day, like the biggest win, regardless of your placing, is being able to tell
Mhm.
yourself that like you did everything in your power and everything you possibly could to bring your best at the end of the
Exactly.
day, right? And so I think there's no worse feeling than second guessing yourself and like asking yourself like, yeah, what if I had done that differently? What if I hadn't missed that workout? What if I hadn't had
Mhm.
that cookie or whatever it is? But like, yeah, it's also important to recognize and realize that like, okay, that cookie is probably not the reason that you placed first or second. You know,
Mhm.
like it's not that deep,
100%.
and yeah, there is a bigger picture to it, and it's important to not say no to those things
Mhm.
in the off season because
Very.
2, 3, 4 years from now, even a year from now, like you're gonna look back and think like, wish I'd gone on that trip.
Exactly. Cue Bella's recent Italy trip.
Literally,
Montage here. Insert here. Yeah, but that's
literally,
true. Yeah.
literally. And I said no to a Europe trip with one of my best friends. Probably, I think it was the season, it was a few months after my first ever show, so that was 4 years ago now. Yeah, I was planning or talking about going to Europe with my best friend at the time. And we literally were talking about it, and I just got so much anxiety about going on this
Mhm.
trip and not being able to work out and not being able to track my food that
Yeah.
I backed out. Like, I just couldn't commit to it. And looking back on it, I feel
Mhm.
so bad. I feel so guilty for like kind of bailing on her, but also just like not allowing myself to go and
Yeah.
live a little bit. This would have been like 2, 3, maybe a month max. And would that have been the differentiating factor between my placement the next year? Absolutely not. Like, if anything,
Yeah.
it probably would have been a good thing for me to take a step back from the gym for a little bit. But it is just so easy to become so all consumed with our lifestyles and our routines. We are creatures of habit, and yeah, I think it just takes a little bit of mental work and time. Like I've gone through that process
100%.
now, and I understand that like I have the knowledge now to understand that okay, I can like go for it, go to Italy for 2 weeks, eat
Mhm.
gelato every single day, and not get fat and not lose all
She
those.
actually she came back with her ass fatter. So if that should be your motivation, guys, go on that trip. Go on that trip.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
take it from me. I can share my pictures if
Exactly.
y'all don't believe me. I look better now than
Credentials here. Credentials insert here, please.
literally, literally. Yeah, no, guys, when I win my pro card, we can thank Italy.
Yeah, we can go back and say that's what happened. That's the secret
Yeah.
sauce. Italy.
Mhm.
Italy wine and pasta.
Yeah, literally. And you know what? Like, on the note of tying your worth to a placing on stage, like, I could
Hmm.
not imagine anything worse. Like, walking away from a show and doubting your self worth
Hmm.
because you didn't win your pro card that day.
Yeah, yeah. That's a big one. That's a big one that a lot of people go through. And I think we've demonized kind of walking away, being like, damn, that sucks. Let's try next time. We have demonized that. Like, it is okay to be disappointed and just say, like, damn, like I wish that was my day. You know what I mean? That is normal. You're competing. That's the whole thing of it is competing. You are a competitive person, but when you leave a stage wherever you are with pure disappointment and and sometimes anger to where you're like, I didn't win first or get my pro card, I'm a loser. That's a problem.
And that is going to set you up for a terrible reverse, a terrible off season.
Awesome.
That is going to
Awesome.
cause stress to skyrocket. You're going to be so hyper fixated on
Hmm.
that placing rather than like lighting a fire
Yeah.
under your
Should
head
motivate
like
you.
go get better. Like
Yeah. And would like if you imagine it too, like if you were angry about a placing to that extent, your reverse for the first half of it until you snap out of it, you're gonna be so hyper fixated on what could I fix then that you're gonna try and do it in your reverse, which it's not the time and place. It's really, really not. And so that's gonna actually set you up for something even worse, which might cause an eating disorder. It's just such a bad path that we need to understand that the reverse is not the time or place unless you're gonna do another show. Let it go. Let it go. You have to let it go.
You have to take it on the chin and just accept the placing that day and say, okay, like I brought my best that day, and there are other girls that showed up better than me that the judges
Yeah.
favored more that day. And I'm going to take my feedback and I'm going to improve and I'm going to come back better next year. And I'm going to celebrate the season that I had and all of the hard work that I put in. And like it is what it is, you know? Like in any other sport, if you lose, like you're not tying your self-worth to that loss. You're not,
Hmm.
you're not walking away from that show saying, or like that game saying like I should have placed better that day, like everyone was just against me, like I
Yeah.
deserve better.
That's also where the victim mindset comes in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hmm.
That is the perfect term for it. Yeah, the victim mindset.
Because sometimes I know it's hard to process when you're in that time because we obviously work so hard and it takes so much time and we go through a lot for 15 seconds on that stage, but it's not at every show that the judges were looking for something different. Sometimes you just weren't going to be that pick that day, and that is okay because again, we don't know who's going to show up. If I was there at 110% and Becky came in at 110, but hers just looks better, she wins. And that's that. So the judges were probably not looking for something different every single day. Maybe it just wasn't your day, and that's okay. And that's okay.
I would say that's also just like poor sportsmanship if you're like,
100%.
I should
A
have
hundred
won
percent.
instead of like Becky who got her pro card and I didn't.
Dude, there was like back in like 2024 or 25, there was some guy who dead ass created ruckus on Instagram because he got his pro card like a few weeks after too, which was so funny because like why were we screaming? But he dead ass went on Instagram and flamed the judges, the athletes, like everything, and was like he actually did not deserve that win and just it was
That
mine.
is so embarrassing.
I felt it. I was embarrassed through the screen actually.
Literally secondhand embarrassment because what is that? Like, grow up.
Girls, second, third, fourth, I caught all of them. Like that is not it, and that creates such a bad rep for all of us. You can't do
Yes.
that.
Like,
Mm-mm.
or who was it? Frick, I forget his name at the Olympia last year. I think it was in, maybe it was an open bodybuilding.
Martin,
Yeah.
Martin.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not even gonna bother. Yeah,
Yeah.
his was a big one. His was a big one. But like and that's the
Big.
thing. Yeah, that's just like now you're also like, aren't we embarrassed to show? Like, I would not want people to see me sweating. Like, I would not.
No.
I need you to think that I'm happy 24/7 and I'll go deal with it privately. But why are we like putting everything out there? We we need to bring back shame. 2027, 2026, bring back shame. Be ashamed to act a certain way.
Yes. Like, be embarrassed for yourself. Like, that
Yes.
is your
Be
whole
embarrassed.
that is your whole reputation that you're putting on the line.
Exactly.
And performing on the most prestigious stage in the world and acting like that, like somebody take that man's like rights to compete away from him.
Yeah, he needs some time out. But I think he's actually back. I think he's back after some debriefing with him and himself, probably a therapist, which is probably for the best. But
Yeah.
we see that every day, like especially in the amateurs too. I think it's really big, and it's just like it brings back the conversation of you don't deserve anything in the sport. You don't. You work for it, and if you don't get it, it wasn't yours. Done.
Yep. Totally.
That's
Take your
all it is.
feedback and take it on the chin and improve.
Yeah, like a girl,
That is what bodybuilding is at the end of the day,
yeah.
right?
I like
It's a
I
very subjective sport, so
Exactly. I don't understand like where like wasn't that the whole point in the beginning? Like just take the feedback and work with it. I've had judges say, she just one in particular, say some heinous feedback, and guess what? That stung, but I went, worked on it, came back, and I delivered what she wanted. And that should be the whole thing. Take it. Sometimes it might suck, but the whole point of it is to come back better. It's not to say she was wrong, actually. She was wrong, I'm right, and I'm gonna come back the same way. I'm gonna lose the exact same way, and then I'm gonna come back and say, you know what? The judges just wanted somebody. What's the word that everybody uses? They just wanted somebody more full or more tight that day. Or no, you were probably no, you just didn't meet the criteria that day.
yeah. Yeah.
You were
Like
neither of those things.
at TNT.
Like,
I beat
neither.
Rutha because Rutha was not even close to conditioned enough.
I
Mind
was
you, her glutes double the size of mine.
like, I was 10
But
pounds above what I went on stage the next 12 weeks. That's how, like, cooked and conditioning I was, right? I could have gone and said, Bella, no, 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 no. You shouldn't have won. I should have won.
yeah,
That was not spoken about. I went and I said, oh my gosh, I can actually look in the mirror, which a lot of us are lacking. Actually, look in the
yeah,
mirror, say, this is not it. This is not it. Bella was conditioned 110 times more. I went and my whole thing was conditioning. I got conditioned. Done.
yeah.
But did I show up on Instagram, Bella? But did I show up on Instagram, Bella, saying she should have won? It's
My
so
glutes were
embarrassing.
obviously way bigger than Bella's, so I should have won.
It's so embarrassing. And it's like, it's not like a one
Imagine,
body part thing either. Like,
imagine. Oh my gosh.
it's not cute. I don't like
No,
that. And it's, again, it's just embarrassing
it's so embarrassing. Not a good look. Not a good look.
for
But
nobody.
I do want to circle back to like how bodybuilding can kind of all consume us in certain
Hmm.
situations. And a hot topic that a lot of people have and talk about is bodybuilders like bringing food scales to restaurants, like going to the extreme to stay on track. I want to like unpack that a little bit because everyone has a different opinion on like the extremes that we go to in certain situations. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Like, the food scale is a little bit performative, in my opinion, actually. I'm gonna say, I understand weighing your food. You want to eat certain things, like when you're out 110% sure. That's why we have people who have packed food to a restaurant. You can just lie to them and say, I have allergies all day, right? They're not gonna kick you out. You're there with people. But, or go and just get a Diet Coke if you're in prep and call it a day. But when you get to a point of bringing a scale on the dinner table, making them make you like different food, like whatever, I think it's too much. I think it's too much. A whole scale is too much.
It's very pick me attention drawing. Even if you don't mean to be pick me,
Yeah,
it's just like if you pull out a food
pick
scale
me. Sorry.
at a
It
restaurant,
is.
mind you, I've done this before, okay? I'm guilty. I brought my
It's,
food scale to a restaurant
and
before,
you've grown from it.
and I've grown from it. It was actually a very transformational experience.
Good, 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 good. Can event, actually, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's staring at you for obvious reasons. So, like you said, maybe a better alternative would be to bring your meal or to eat beforehand and just get a Diet Coke.
And don't let me catch you weighing out French fries. Do not piss me off right now.
If you
That's not
are
gonna do
eating French
shit.
fries and you're weighing,
Have you not
that's
seen those?
redundant. That's stupid.
Have you not seen those like videos of dudes like putting their goddamn scale and they're weighing out their steak, their fries, their what do you mean you're weighing out
I mean,
fries?
weighing out your chicken breast and rice if you order that at Cactus Club is one thing because at least it's like, you're tracking it pretty accurately. But French fries, how are you supposed to accurately track French fries? You don't know what the hell they're cooked in.
They could be cooking it in freaking beef tallow for all we know.
Dump
Like
that.
you literally you do not know. You do not know. Some places
And
actually
if you're
I've
eating French
seen
fries, that is a like untracked free meal, cheat meal, whatever you want to call it at that point.
it's
So what's the point of weighing it out?
give me one of your sorry, I want to hear this. Since you said pick me, it just caught me off guard. Give me two, quickly. Two of your bodybuilding pick me's, like something that you'll see and say that's pick me. And that irks you. I've never thought of this. We might
I
ruffle some
feel like
feathers, but
I feel like either bringing your scale to a restaurant for one, or being that person who asks for a million modifications at a restaurant.
hmm,
And
that's a
yes,
good one.
some restaurants like are super accommodating with dietary and like meal requests, but like if you literally ask for like a million modifications, especially on like if you're ordering something off their menu instead of just like kind of like building your own meal. Like if you ask for like just like a grilled chicken breast with like steamed vegetables and like a baked
Yeah.
potato or like rice or something, that's one thing. But if you're like, no, I actually want this like poke bowl, but like can I get it with like plain chicken, no sauce, only these certain vegetables with no butter or oil, no salt. The sauce needs to be on the side, no seasonings, actually. I feel like that's just like a little bit.
You know, I've done that back in the day once, actually, now that you think about it. Yeah, it's but we grow,
Character
we grow.
building experience, right?
Yeah, it's an experience. But yeah, that's like, and sometimes the people like might get too mad and like not do half the shit. So you have to tread lightly. But yeah, if you need modifications to that extent, just order the most plain shit at that point. It's just make
Exactly. That's what
everyone's
I'm saying.
lives
Like, you may as
easier.
well just order like a grilled chicken breast and some rice. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite line is I'm allergic to every single oil. And I just look at them. But I'll order the chicken. And they go, okay, now it's like making sure you're not grilling that shit on anything, bro. I want that shit oven baked, you know? But
Literally.
yeah, no, that was when we're that was good. I think, yeah. Is there anything else like that? Oh, off topic. Mine is oh, I just had it. Oh, I actually you do 30 minutes of cardio. I do an hour and a half. I do an hour and a half of cardio. 30, that's light
Only
work.
30 minutes of cardio? Yeah, no, I do 60 minutes of stairs every
Yeah.
single
I
day.
actually sprint on this on the Stairmaster, so we're not the same.
Oh, no, I do hit actually on the
On
stairs.
this, yeah, I actually
Yeah,
do a hit
yeah,
6 times a
45
week,
seconds on,
so
15 seconds off for 30 minutes. You
yeah.
should try it.
Yeah, I actually go on runs every single day. Yeah, yeah, on top of my cardio. So,
Yeah. Plus,
the
that
overachiever.
doesn't even count towards my steps. So then I go do like 10,000 steps on top of that.
They're called the overachievers, but they're not overachieving. They're just actually harming their body.
They're
Matter of
actually
fact.
like driving cortisol up and gaining weight
Yeah,
from that in
no,
itself.
literally. And that's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good one. That's a really good
Hmm.
one. Maybe another one would just being like so freaking disciplined with your routine and schedule that like
Hmm.
it gets in the way of like your social plans or like I don't know, say you have like a family dinner or something, but you're like, no, actually that cuts into my gym time and I'm not willing to move my gym time because I have to eat my pre-workout meal at the exact same time every single day.
I used to go to the gym sometimes literally starving because I couldn't time it properly, but I needed to be somewhere. I'm not gonna like cancel it. Right? Like, and that one time out of the month, like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like, there's no,
Exactly.
that's too
You can
much,
shift
too
things a
much.
little bit for one day out of the whole month.
It might pain you, but like, oh wow, like you're not dying. Also, you can plan everything around your training. Hey, since I have to go see Bella at 2 p.m., I can work out beforehand, but I can also do it after, but I might be too tired after, so I'll just do it before. Done. Not let's move Bella all the way to 8 o'clock from 2 o'clock. Because I had to do this. No. That's where consuming happens,
Imagine.
actually.
Actually, guys, like, can we not do dinner until 8 p.m. because like
Meal timing.
go to the gym and do my hour of cardio and
Yeah. Or
1,000
meal timing.
meal timing. Yeah.
I've seen a post, sorry, maybe they'll, no, oh well. I've seen a post that was like, I actually have to go out to eat today, but I don't eat for another 3 hours, so I'm actually not gonna go today and move it to another day because they want to go now, but I can't eat for another 3 hours. What are you talking?
Make that even make sense. Like,
Hmm.
oh, it's actually not my cheat meal day, so I can't have my free meal because it's gonna make a huge difference if I have it today instead of tomorrow.
Because that's gonna actually add 5 pounds, Bella. So,
Yeah, that's gonna make or
mm,
break your pro card for sure.
yeah. No, that slice of cake is actually gonna. Also, why do I keep talking about cake? Sorry, guys. I might have a slice of cake after this now that I think about it.
If you were here, I
Yeah.
would say let's go for ice cream.
Bro, I think I'm genuinely scared to see you again because like I don't think we can say
Big
no to
back
each
too
other.
hard.
I think we can say no.
It's like Ali and I in Italy.
Yeah,
We're
and
just
you need that sometimes because
would be
why
so good.
would I say, can we go get food? And you're like, no, I'm kind of full. No.
I think I did say that when we were done our tacos that one night. I was like, I'm kind of
Oh
full.
yeah, I'm kind of full. And I was like, oh, so you don't want ice cream? And you're like, well, I mean, I said, really? After some convincing, we went. We went to five
No
spots
worries.
afterwards. I'm pretty good at what I do, guys.
Yeah, you don't have to ask me twice. Yeah, and
But yeah.
but yeah, I think yeah, falling into those like traps of being like way, way, way too locked in and regimented with those certain
Hmm.
things, like just will lead to a very unhealthy relationship with competing, and it doesn't give you like any longevity in the sport
None.
whatsoever.
And
And
that's
I
when.
think it will hold you back from growing and honestly like stepping into your full potential and bringing your best physique.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. And that's when it's always healthy to what I like to call a break, right? Whether it be a week, a month, a full year, and not just like a break from like working out or this and that, a break from whatever it is that you need, whether it be your current routine, current meal plan, change it up, environment, switch gyms, whatever, right? Because you don't want to be stagnant in anything. You always like want to keep improving and moving. So sometimes switching things up and taking a break is actually going to take you further in anything, even the sport,
Yes.
when you know when to take a step back.
Exactly. I mean, there's that saying, one step backwards is two step forwards, right?
Exactly.
And I think we forget how much like trauma and stress we actually put our bodies through, like
Hmm,
70% of the year. Like we ask and demand a lot of our bodies. It is not normal to be dieting down to sub 10% body fat, especially as a female. It is
exactly.
not normal to be intentionally trying to burn over 1,000 calories a day and eating sub like 1,500 calories. And
Sometimes you're burning more than you're consuming, right?
well, exactly. I mean, that's the whole, that's the whole point of prep is to be in a calorie deficit. But
Mm,
yeah, like the being stage lean, having the veins, and being super shredded, yeah, it's sick. It looks cool. And there's a lot of hype and you get a lot of attention for it. And that obviously brings a lot of like internal gratification too. And it's so easy to get caught up in that. And then, like you become almost like less important, less popular, less eyes on you as soon as those shreds start to fade, which is
mhm.
like sad to say, but unfortunately, it's the
100%.
reality of it
Yeah.
because you just look more like a normal person, I guess.
Yeah. It's true, yeah.
Yeah,
When you're not walking around with veins everywhere, obviously you're not as impressive looking. And I think that's what it is. Everybody kind of wants to watch somebody who looks unattainable. So the second that you look attainable, which you're not actually attainable, you just have body fat on you, like masking it, that's
mhm,
when people say, like, okay, she's back to average, like let me just like look away. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I think hurts a lot of people's egos too. And I
yeah,
think that's a really big part of it is also ego. Like a lot of the
for sure.
consuming from the sport comes from ego. And ego is not always a bad thing, but it is also a big contributor to what happens when you lose yourself in something, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
And getting, yeah, caught up in something. And bodybuilding, because we're always chasing a certain physique goal, right? Like, it's so easy to become all consumed with your body and how you look 24/7. But,
Hmm.
like, there's so many things to love about yourself that have nothing to do with what you look like.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's so many things that you can focus on and be passionate about and pour energy into in life that have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with your physique, how you look on stage, how you look in your check-in pictures.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that is just one aspect of our life. And
Hmm.
for 99% of bodybuilders, like bodybuilding is not paying the bills.
100%
It is
not.
literally just a hobby
Hmm.
and a passion.
Yeah. I think a really good point to make here is to help yourself kind of get out of that state. It is hard, right? It is hard when you tie yourself to something so intensely. A big thing that I kind of put into play here because I wanted this off season obviously like look a lot different and not just growth wise but just also how I do things. A big thing is kind of just like also pulling away from consuming as much bodybuilding content as I used to. That might not seem like a
Yeah,
big thing, but just when you're always watching something, it will hinder you, especially if you're just consuming bodybuilding and that's what you're doing and that's what your friends are. It tends to be a lot. So sometimes a little social media break, or even for me, I think Bella and three other people are the only ones that know that I'm on a cut right now, right? So sharing every aspect was also like publicly was also a thing for me. Like, hey, if I kind of step away from this and kind of show up how I do, and then I'm like, yeah, like I just did a cut for like so and so, it takes away the pressure that originally you have when doing something. So little things like that add up and make a really big change. And looking for those things that might help you get out of that funk is a really big thing, right?
yes, yeah, just not, yeah, like we said, not tying your entire worth to bodybuilding,
Hmm.
not feeling pressured to share every single part of your journey online and
Exactly.
constantly consuming bodybuilding
Hmm.
content 24/7 because at that point you're just constantly comparing yourself to others. And it's not a bad thing to use that as motivation to improve
Yeah.
yourself, but also just don't let it get to the point where it becomes 100% of your life because you offer so much more than just being a competitor and being an athlete and being a bodybuilder.
You have a lot more to give, girl. I got a
Yeah,
lot more to give.
yeah,
And boys, but I doubt any boys are watching this. I
if
don't know. If you
anybody.
are, you
Yeah.
too. You're worth more.
Yeah, to everyone, competing is something that we choose to do. It's not who you are, it doesn't define your entire identity. And
Hmm.
if you want to take a step back from bodybuilding for a little bit, like the stage is always going to be there. If
Exactly.
you are gunning for that pro card, like hell yeah, go get what's yours, but don't let bodybuilding take away from other parts of your life at the same time. Like there's so much more to life and so many things that are important, so many people that matter to you in your life and that care about you, and yeah, like quality time with your friends, your family, going on once in a lifetime trips, like going to concerts, whatever it is, all matter
Exactly.
just as much.
Yeah. And a lot of people are in this for a long time. Like we see the top
Totally.
athletes
This
have
is
been
a
in this
long
for a
game.
decade.
Yeah, taking an
Yeah.
extended off season like may not be a
Hmm.
bad thing.
Yeah, and a year off or 2 years off is not setting you behind. We have, for example, Amy, who got her pro card at what, 27, right? Laura has been in the sport for a decade plus.
Yeah.
There's so many other girls who've been in this for so long. Phoebe, like so on. There's, you have to look at the bigger picture and say, if these girls are where they're at, and this is how long it took them, what makes you think at 21 you're going to accomplish everything and feel like you got there on time?
Yeah.
So it's a really big thing to think about
Rushing
too.
the process is only going to hold you back in the long run.
Mhm.
So live that life, be balanced, and yeah, remember competing is something you do, not who you are.
Mhm.
So hopefully y'all got some value from this episode. Share it with a
Exactly.
bodybuilder friend who needs to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them.
Mhm.
And make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode.
Exactly. And if you're not having fun doing it, just don't do it at all, guys.
Facts.
Yeah, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you guys here next week for a brand new episode of the Consistency Code podcast.
Talk to you later.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.